Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions product comparison. So what that means is I'm going to be directly comparing two products that I've never used before, which today is going to be the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and the Toofaced Born This Way Concealer. Both are new products that have just recently come out. There's a lot of hype around both of them. So I figured a lot of people are wondering about these products, if they're good, if they'll work for them, and I think the best way to kind of determine that is to directly compare them in a first impressions type video. You're definitely going to have to keep watching to find out which product is on which side and what I think of them. But first, if you haven't pressed that subscribe button below, make sure to press it so that you can be subscribed and be notified of any new videos that I come out with. Alright, no more chatty Cathy. Let's do this. The fan is going because it's way hot in LA. I love you guys, but I don't love you guys that much. There will be sweat dripping out of my pores if I do not have that fan on. So I hope that doesn't bother you too much. One thing that I am hoping to do for you guys with this video is help you determine which one you should get. If you are only able to get one or you want to save for one, you're not able to get both, which is totally understandable. Hopefully this will help you figure out which one is best for you and your skin type and your needs. I was in the sun all weekend in the 120-degree weather in Palm Springs for my birthday. So I do have some dryness going on. That'll be very interesting to see how everything applies. The Born This Way Concealer is supposed to have coconut water to delicately replenish skin's moisture levels, alpine rose to brighten and boost skin's radiance, and hyaluronic acid for a smoother, more youthful appearance. And the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer has skin-vigorating ingredients of shea butter, sunflower, peony, licorice root, and vitamin E. So hopefully that's creamy and smooth for the dryness that I'm experiencing. We will see. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Born This Way Concealer on this eye and the Shape Tape on this eye. I am going to be applying it with the applicator that comes with the concealer. I will be blending it out with this mini blush blender by Beauty Blender. This is a new beauty blender that they have. It's in the middle of being the size of a mini and a full-size one, and I think it is perfect for concealer, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And I will be setting it with the same powder so we can really get a true first impression. I really love both the packaging on these concealers, but the first thing that I noticed is that the Shape Tape is way bigger than the Born This Way concealer. The Born This Way is 0.23 fluid ounces and the Shape Tape is 0.338 fluid ounces, so you do get more product with the Tarte Shape Tape. The colors that I got in both of them are coincidentally light medium. That's usually my go-to because I do like really bright under eye. When I get tan, I could go into the more medium range, but for now I think these are going to be the best colors for me. Alright, so for the Born This Way, I'm getting the vibe that this is supposed to be very creamy and moisturizing. Did I get this in my hair? I'm going to be applying it under my eye where I normally conceal and highlight, around my nose, a little bit on my nose, and in the center of my forehead and chin. Alright, so right off the bat I can see that it is a peachy yellow color. That obviously helps to cancel out dark circles. It's very blendable. I mean, it's pretty much just blending directly into my skin. I'm not seeing any patchiness. It's a full coverage concealer, but it's not cakey in any way. It actually feels very thin and light. Where I am the most dry is here on my nose and around my nose right here. It's really hard to get into the crevice of my nose right here, so I'm noticing it building up a little bit around the dryness. It's not accentuating the dryness. I am just noticing right here that it is kind of creasing in my nose crease, but that happens with almost every single concealer I use, so I'm not necessarily holding it against this. I do really like the way that it is brightening, and it just looks really smooth. So I'm going to add another layer to see where this goes. Alright, so I am noticing it's layering pretty well. This is very liquidy, it's very thin, but as you can see, the coverage is pretty good. If you don't like a yellowy apricot tone, I would say light medium is probably going to be too much on that side for you, but for my skin tone it works really well. I am going to use my RMS Beauty Un-Powder Powder to set this. I am just going to dip the sponge in the powder. Because I'm really dry my nose, I'm trying not to get anything on there. So as you can see right now, this is one side done. Now I'm going to move on to the Shape Tape to see how it compares to the Born This Way concealer. So if any of you have the Tarte Aqua Sealer, that's what it's called, right? I think so. You know that it has a gigantic doe foot applicator. It was very, very popular, and Tarte was so smart to have incorporated that into the Shape Tape because I love how big it is. I think it's perfect for applying concealer, so let's see how it applies this one. It has a lot of product on the doe foot. I'm noticing that it's like super creamy. Yeah, so you have to be careful. There's a lot of product that's coming off. And I'm just applying it to the same areas I did the Born This Way, under the eyes, around the nose, across the top of the nose, forehead, and a little bit around my smile lines. Alright, so I'm going to turn my beauty blender over and I'm going to start blending. Dang, this is a real good coverage. Holy crap. Super creamy, really high coverage. Wow. Really good coverage. I am immediately turned on by this concealer. So first thing I noticed is that this is definitely a higher coverage and a more creamy consistency, as you heard me say what my first impression literally. So right now I can tell that I've gotten the same coverage with one application here as I did with two. Not the same, but similar coverage. Even this with one application is more coverage than this one with two. So even though I still am getting that same creasing in this crack as I did with this one actually is a little bit less. I think it might dry down a little bit quicker than this one, and that's probably having to do with the hydrating aspect of Born This Way. This one is not settling into the crack as much as this one is upon first impression. Really impressed with the coverage on both. I do actually like the thicker and creamier consistency for the dry skin on here. I think because it is so creamy, it's covering up that dryness a little bit more. I'm going to set this one with powder just to see where we're at, and then we'll collect some more thoughts. Once I've set the Shape Tape with powder, I'm not seeing any creasing in my nose area, which is really interesting to me because I still am getting a little creasy here. I usually get creasy with almost every single concealer, so I am shocked that this one is working so well. Alright, so I'm going to throw on some bronzer, blush, and highlight, and I'm going to finish up with my thoughts. Alright, so now that I'm wrapped up, I can give you my thoughts on each one and let you know kind of why I think each person should buy each one, because overall I do really like both of them. So upon first impression, the one that I prefer as of now is the Tarte Shape Tape. I love a full coverage concealer. I like the idea of wearing a really light foundation for every day, but going heavy on the concealer just to make sure I'm nice and bright, awake, alert, I look like a human. So immediately the Shape Tape called out to me because of that full creamy coverage. It's still very smooth and does not seem cakey at all to me. I think it's a really good light to medium shade. I don't see any crazy undertones in it. It looks pretty neutral, like it can work on any light to medium skin tone, in my opinion. I love the doe foot applicator. It's gigantic and I am obsessed with it. The only thing to be aware of, that a lot of product does come out that I don't necessarily think that you need because it is so full coverage. Be aware that a lot of product does come out with that gigantic doe foot applicator. I also love that you get so much product in that concealer. It's just significantly bigger than the Born This Way, which I think you're getting a lot more bang for your buck, and isn't that what we all want? Even though it feels light on your face, I am worried about it maybe caking up when it gets hot and when I start to get oily, and if it's going to be comfortable or not. So I will definitely let you guys know. So those are the pros of that concealer, which is what makes me like that concealer a little bit better. I do still like the Born This Way concealer. I really like that it has the hyaluronic acid in it, that it has the coconut water, and it is very moisturizing. Here's the problem with that. Because I think those ingredients are in there, I think it is making it very thin and watery, which can be very good, but it also takes a little bit away from the coverage, and I think it makes it crease a little bit more, but I definitely think that you need to set it. And if you have oily skin, I think that could be problematic with that concealer. But if you live in a dry climate, if you're naturally dry, and if you get really dry, flaky under eyes, which a lot of people do, I think that concealer is going to be amazing for you. Hyaluronic acid is one of the best ingredients that you can have in something because it really allows smooth skin texture. It puts that moisture and it keeps the moisture in your skin. If you're someone who likes like a more natural concealer but wants good coverage still, I think that's an amazing concealer for you, and I will still use that, especially on days when I'm running around and I don't want anything heavy. I don't know if I'll reach for that Shape Tape in a quick errand everyday makeup look. I think I would definitely go for the Born This Way in that situation because it feels lighter, you can barely feel it. I've said it a million times, but as you can see in the application, it has that really yellow, peachy, it's not yellow but it's not peach, it's somewhere in the middle undertone. I don't think it's going to work for a lot of people, so be aware of that. I know there's swatches all over the internet of all the colors, so definitely make sure to look at those because I know that those concealers, the Born This Way concealers, have a lot more undertones to them than the Shape Tape does. So it's more of a battle of, I think, that super full coverage, that opaque coverage, very creamy, compared to a more hydrating, lightweight, Still medium to high coverage, but definitely a little bit lighter and a little bit thinner. So if you're looking at them as being like kind of even the same thing and you're wanting to choose one, definitely know that that's not the case. They're very different concealers and you should choose based on what you're looking for. I think that's it for me today. I hope this video helped you determine what product is good for you, and if you want to get both, get both. I will definitely be using both of these over the summer. I think they serve totally different purposes and will absolutely be using them very often, I'm sure. If there are any product comparisons that you would want me to do, let me know. I would love to do them. I know that there are so many new products coming out every week, and I just think it's a fun way to kind of find out what's out there and if it will work for you. Alright guys, that is it for me today. I'm gonna wrap this up. Give this video a like if you liked it, and make sure to drop a comment and say hello in some way. All of my social media information will be in the down bar. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, blog. A list of the products that I used today, including stuff that you did not see, will also be in the down bar. So lots of information for you there. We will talk soon. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.